Hey, I'm Hannah, a plant enthusiast but not expert and founder of the Sill and Soil, which is a new local pop-up plant shop here in Lethbridge. And today I'm going to share with you my 5 biggest indoor plant tips to grow healthy and happy plants. So I'll just start by saying plants are like a beautiful and beneficial way for you to decorate your home. Houseplants are great natural air purifiers. They help you sleep good, breathe better, and overall just make you happy. So as we begin, I just want to remind everybody that there's no such thing as a green or a brown thumb. It's really just finding the plant that works for your routine and your lifestyle. My first plant tip is finding the right plant. As with every living thing, plants aren't all created equally. Some, like my boyfriend, are easy and low-key and don't require much maintenance. Those would be like succulents or cacti. But on the other side of the spectrum, there's plants that require lots and lots of maintenance. Because of our climate in southern Alberta, tropicals and ferns are more trickier options. So just take that into account when you are purchasing. That being said, make sure you don't just jump into caring for any plant you aren't familiar with. My biggest thing is do your research, know what you're getting into. So if you're a new plant purchaser, I would start off with a cacti, a succulent, a pilea, or a spider plant. Those are the biggest 4 options. My second tip is finding the right pot. This is probably one of my biggest tips here. Make sure you find the right pot and don't be afraid to repot your plants. Oftentimes, people are scared that changing the plant from their stable conditions will lead to death, but that is not the case at all. It's actually quite the opposite, and it encourages growth. By getting that new soil in there, you'll get new nutrients into your plant. It'll encourage growth and it'll encourage healthy growing. When choosing the right pot, make sure that you always choose a pot with a drainage hole. That way the water can soak all the way through. Without the drainage hole, the water will sit at the bottom and cause root rot. And that is not going to be happy for a plant. Additionally, another tip for buying your pot is make sure you always go 1 to 3 sizes up. That way it'll encourage growth as well. Tip 3, I got watering. I would say the biggest death to plants is overwatering or overcaring sometimes for your plant. It's always better to underwater than to overwater your plant. Your plant is very forgiving most of the time for underwatering or forgetting to give it water, and it's easy to come back from that. It's not so easy for a plant to come back from an overwater. So don't get too caught up in your routine. It's nice for you to continuously check on your plants, but it's not necessary for you to set a set schedule for watering. The best way to check is put your fingers 2 inches deep into the soil. If it's damp, then you're good. You don't need to worry about watering. If it's a little drier, a little crispier, that's when you should water. Also look for like the color of your leaves if they're starting to droop, and also the environment that it's in. Tip 4 is placement. When I first began my urban juggle here, it didn't matter. I didn't think much about where I was going to put the plants. If I saw a plant, I would just purchase it. But I soon found out that I was running out of space for my south-facing and west-facing walls, and the plants weren't getting what they needed for them to thrive. So make sure you know where your plants are going to do best. Some will enjoy a west-facing wall, and that's where it has like really hot direct sunlight. Some will do better in an east where it's indirect and less bright. But just make sure to do your research. Other things to consider when you're placing your plants is they're not too close to a vent so that the heat doesn't dry them out and the AC doesn't chill the leaves too much. As many houseplants are tropical, they do best in warm areas with high humidity, so just keep that in mind. Speaking of humidity, your plants will do best in spaces that show good levels of humidity. Because in Lethbridge, we often have a really long winter, the best way to tell if your plants need humidity is to look at yourself. If your hands are dry or your skin's dry and your lips are chapped, most cases are your plants are also feeling that dryness as well. So if you're able to, you can set up a humidifier to help with humidity levels. But if that's not an option, Filling like a tray or a container with pebbles and then putting water in it. And then just putting it by your plants will also help it. As the water evaporates, the plants will start to feel that humidity in there. All right, and my last tip, and unsurprising fifth tip, is to buy local. Purchasing your plants local, besides the obvious benefits of supporting your economy and helping local dreamers help reach their dreams. Buying local is also beneficial for you. Lethbridge has lots of local plant shops and nurseries and florists, and they're very passionate about what they do. So they're happy to talk to you, give you tips, and talk about how to care for your plants. Versus the big box chain stores and supermarkets, while they may have their prices a little cheaper, they often aren't as well kept and could cost you longer in the long run. So for more information, you can visit us at thesilandsoil.com, and we also have a Facebook and Instagram, and you can look for us at local markets throughout the summer.